Hello and welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Malorian, and this is another Warmachine battle report. Now, if you're already worried and being like, oh my god, I bet you that idiot took lightning guns to the Kruger again. No, nothing like that. So don't worry, we got a good one here. So what was going on is we had a nice holiday going on here, and I thought like, hey, I got nothing going on. Let's have some people over and have some fun games. So I'm going to be playing up against Ryan, and what I'm going to be using today is Magnus1. Now, Magnus1 is always this caster that I would like to be doing better. You know, I'm a huge Magnus 2 fan. I actually used to do very well with Magnus 1 back in Mark 2 when you could just need 5 points to win. I'd throw in all those Buccaneers, it'd run up, but I've been always struggling to find a non-jank list to actually make work, and this time I just said, screw it. I'm going to take like a Mark 2 style list that just has like a bunch of pieces to it and things that he can kind of buff and kind of work with. So looking at the list here, you know, I have two units that are going to take advantage of snipe. I have the Idrians and the Nyss hunters, so I can swap the snipe between them. Magnus1 does have resourceful, so I get to upkeep all these things for free, only if it's on a battle group, but hey, it'll be worth it for snipe on these units when I want it. You know, Iron Aggression planned to be going on to the Mangler. That does great work. Death Ward going on to the Toro. That's always cool. And then Blur onto Magnus himself. Yeah, that makes him pretty good and survivable. Now, otherwise, I threw in some good old Mark II goodies, things like the Kayazy, things that can get in there and just be annoying, do some work, slow things down. And the reason why I want to slow things down is I want to try using Magnus's feet the way you're supposed to use it, where it's supposed to be hit and run, which is why it's called hit and run. You know, not double run with your Buccaneers 24 inches off the table. You're supposed to go in, hit things, and back away. So if I can get you to engage with my infantry in the front, then my reach heavies can get in there and then dance away after. Now, you're probably also wondering, why do I have a Swashbuckler? Well, it's because I've had this Swashbuckler for a while. I've always tried to find a good place to have it do work, and I thought, you know what, let's paint it up. I actually painted up just for this game here, and we'll see what it can do. If nothing else, if it can get in there and just be annoying, you know, it has Duelist, you know, defense 15 basically with dodge, does pretty good, so we'll see what we could do with that. Alright, my buddy Ryan, he's going to be running his Damiano list. It's a list he's been playing for a while here in Mark III, really trying to get advantage of that Damiano feat. So for those who don't know, it's saying that your friendly faction models are going to get +3 strength and +3 armor. That's pretty great already offensively and defensively, although sometimes it's hard to get both components going with that. And as well, they can't be like moved and all that cool stuff. So it's a really great feat. And as we look in here at the list where it has like the gas before and all those cool things, like they can do a lot of work. Like those Idrians, you know, it's kind of funny. Like you almost never see Idrians, and here we have the Idrian mirror match. His can just hit crazy hard because, you know, they're POW 10s, that's laughable. Charging in, they're POW 12s, that's better. Against their prey, okay, now they're 14s. If it's on the feet, well, now we're talking 17s. And if Gatsby runs in and gets in that whole like Death Shroud thing, well, then we're talking about POW 19s. Like these guys, if you do all the synergy right, could be doing amazing. Meanwhile, he has some other tech here. Like he has the Mangler on Boss Machorne, which, you know, I mean, like in theory can be doing some amazing things, again, especially on the feet. But, you know, well, we'll see if it does much work this game here. All right, so jumping into the game here with our deployment, I won the role to go first, which is great. I wanted to go first. He picked that side over there because, hey, he doesn't want to be stuck with a bunch of water and also, you know, like some acid pool there. It's actually funny, you know, like the one, here's my Swashbuckler that has aquatic, and like as soon as the people saw that I was on this side, they're like, oh yeah, Malorian, there you go, making tables with water because then your aquatic jack can go through that. It's like, well, I play Mercs, it's gonna happen, and what am I gonna do, just not put water anywhere? Like that just doesn't make sense, right? If I played circle. Oh, wow, you're on a table with a forest? Yeah, it just kind of happens. Anyway, so what we're looking at here is we're playing the bunkers, and so this is the new bunkers, of course, with no flag in the middle, and what I'm really trying to do in this matchup is slow things down. Like I said, I have snipe on my units here, so the Idrians, I have the advantage over them. I can get into them, I can start shooting them down. In fact, I can start shooting them first turn already, so that's going to be amazing. And then after those pieces are out, he'll have to use his feet defensively. He's just going to have to run into me, and at that point, okay, great, I can go into him, do what damage I can. I do have my Eiryss 2 tech, where I can just charge in and disrupt something, and then back away, pop my feet, and try and like grind down after that. So I really do feel I have a lot of good pieces to make these things work. One of the things I have to watch out on the other side are things like the AoEs. He has Damiano shot that, if you don't know, he can spend a focus. It is a POW 12 to everything in the AoE 3. And there's also Rocinante, same thing, can be spending 1 to make it everything boosted. There's also Scythe. So I have a lot of infantry that can die very quickly, and as well, the way that things are placed, that what's it called? Aphyxius, the Sanctified of his, is going to be very difficult for me to deal with, because on that side where it is, sure, my one Jack is aquatic, this Swashbuckler, but my other 2 heavies that I really would need to take it down aren't. So I think delivering my heavies onto Gaspy is going to be very difficult. So what I'm going to do then instead is really just try to contain it there. If I can kill whatever solos go over there, then who cares about that flank? It can't be scored. And if I can just delay Gaspy just slowly feeding him things, great. That'll be all fantastic. By the way, my Idrians prayed his Idrians prayed my Idrians, and then he also has James as well that prayed my Eiryss too. So that's all that. All right, so going into my first turn, I go with Magnus first. I put Snipe onto the Idrians. I put Death Ward onto the Toro. I put Iron Aggression onto my Mangler. And then, yeah, pretty much the only real action that happened here were the Idrians going up and getting those shots in, killing a few, you know, not lots, but nice to already get that going. Popping the mini feet so that I'm dug in. Otherwise, trying to move over there on the right and get myself spread out okay-ish. The forest should make things difficult for Rocinante, so unless he dedicates to the right flank, that won't work out too well for him. I do have repo on the Idrians, but I couldn't do the repo because then I wouldn't be dug in. And honestly, because I want to be ignoring blast, I'm better off being dug in anyway. So there you go. First turn, not too bad, and we'll see what Ryan does. All right, so Damiano, turn 1 over there, getting out some spells, nothing too crazy. I mean, he put the Deadeye up onto his Idrian, so he doesn't have Snipe, but he has Deadeye, and that can help out a bit. Otherwise, I don't believe he needs to cast out, one more spell for sure, Sure-Footed. That goes on to Gaspy, and that's fantastic for the unit, right? It gets +2 defense, Gaspy can't be knocked down, that's amazing. Otherwise, his Idrians do their best to try and shoot at mine. They do a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy. His Rocinante actually does go over on the right and scatters a shot into my Nyss, killing one of them, and then luckily not doing anything to Gubbin. I thought Gubbin, when I got clipped, was going to be dead, but he just rolled really poorly, and it didn't end up doing anything there. Otherwise, just kind of spacing out, putting out some clouds, and so now when I'm looking at this board state, it's like, okay, I'm now in a pretty good spot where I should be able just to like finish off all the Idrians this turn, make sure that's gone, and then if I could go over there and get rid of Boss Machorne, well, then that's going to make sure that one Mangler that's on it won't go inert, but it will now be autonomous, and so won't get any of the extra benefits. And so really, with a Mat 6 Jack going up against my Defense 14 guys, even though you could be doing Thresher, it can't be doing that great. So that's going to be my goal here. Now, I did obviously lots of things here, but because we were just talking about the right flank, let's now talk about that first. So over there, I go to try and actually shoot down Boss Machorne, and before I do, I start doing some math, and I realize my odds of killing Boss Machorne are really bad. I mean, that girl thick, she has a lot of armor, she has a lot of boxes, so I was like, well, I'm just going to do 2 shots of four because one was dead, one was not in range, and we'll just see what I can do. I probably won't kill it, but I might as well see. First shot does some okay damage, and then the second pot of 14 rolls double 6 and kills boss Machorne. So that was amazingly lucky. That's great. Not amazingly lucky then is that then my Kayazy run up just to be annoying. So one runs up just to be in front of the Mangler to be annoying, and then the other one runs in front of Rocinante, which has defensive strike, but I'm defense 17, right? I don't care. No, he rolled the 10. He killed my Kayazy for free. That sucks. Otherwise, Gubbin runs up there. Whether I get to throw in an AP shot and do some good damage or use my creep ability to run into contest, that's what I'm trying to do over there. Boss Machorne going on the flag. Also going in there with my Alexia 3 to be ready for a follow-up. The Toro being up there, being like, all right, if Rocinante or the Mangler try getting in to contest my flag, I can be attacking it. And then otherwise, all my shots start going in the middle. So, Irregulars getting in there, the Kayazy getting in there, even my Scallywag, not the Scallywag, the Swashbuckler, I'm sorry. There was one last Idrian, and it's like, how am I going to kill this? Well, Magnus puts Blur on himself, actually swaps over Snipe over to the Swashbuckler, so the Swashbuckler can aim and shoot that last one little Idrian and kill it. I do say last, but the tracker is the last final model there behind the building, but really, as you can see, I pretty much wiped them all out, so that's fantastic. Otherwise, on the left, I put 3 models in to contest the flag, everything else staying back to be smart, and probably the only big mistake I made this turn is I did not repo with my Idrians. I went to this game knowing they had repo, knowing it was a powerful tool, but I didn't do it last turn because I was dug in, and then this turn, I didn't do it again, and I'm going to pay for that. So on his turn, the way that he gets me back for that is that Damiano comes up here, pays that focus to do the AoE, and then nails like 3 of my Idrians, and then also, 4 of my Idrians it was, and then also got Eiryss as well, and that was a straight dice on the Eiryss, and luckily for me, he just rolls garbage and only does like 3 damage to me. Maybe he should have boosted it. I think rolling a 5 is usually pretty safe, but yeah, that was, this is why you repo, is so that these things don't happen to you. Otherwise, his last Idrian goes up and tries to take a shot. It'd probably been more worthwhile just trying to run into my zone. I'm not sure if he had the distance, but I thought that's what he was going to do. Otherwise, this is a Damiano feet turn. So it's like, well, damn it, I gotta go into this. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on shooting him. So the 2 Toros go up. Of course, the Toro on the right got Pathfinder, so that's why I got further up. On the right there, he actually did a good move here with the actual Rocinante, where it comes in there and is trying to actually charge Gubbin, and then use quick work to try and get a shot into the Nyss. It does come in here and kills Gubbin, but unfortunately, because it's still engaged and engaging the Eliminator I had up there, well, then that didn't allow it to shoot because it was engaged. So I am being contested over there, so I'm not going to be scoring that flag anyway. He was able to actually kill my boss Machorne with, I can't even remember what did it. Something went in there. Scythe did it. Scythe went in there and killed it. So I used passive necromancy to actually make another thrall on it. That's funny, but it doesn't matter because, again, it's being contested. Otherwise, on the left, he came in there and tried doing some work with his one Stalker. Unfortunately, he just didn't roll any 8s whatsoever, so he didn't kill any of my contesting models. Jams is there on the flag, hoping that he would. Gaspy's there, looking to get a little bit aggressive. But, this is okay. This is okay. I lost a little bit of infantry, but this is exactly the game plan. I'm going to go in now. I can be disrupting the left jack, do some other damage to the other ones, tie them up, pop my feet, pop away, and then just keep on trying to do that. All right, so going over here to my turn 3 now. So we each scored a point defensively last turn. On my turn here, my Idrians charge in. They're able to kill the last Idrian on the other side, swap over prey to the left Toro, did some work over there. Then I went in there with my Mangler. It finishes off the left Toro. So it was kind of a waste because that's the one I disrupted, like I said, but when I looked after, my Mangler was not in a way where I could get it onto the right Toro, so I just might as well go in on that one. Meanwhile, on the right Toro, I go up there, and unfortunately, like, I couldn't do the thing where I charged in and then was able to also get Alexia 3 onto the flag. Just the movement I lost being in the forest was too much, so Alexia just does her little thing to make them hit harder. They charge in, and I actually take off the sword, so that's pretty cool. I also go in there with the Toro, did some more work to it. Otherwise, on the top there, I charge in. He actually kills one of my Nyss with a defensive strike again. I passive necromancy, make another Thrall. So this Alexia doing some work. Didn't really do a lot of damage up there, just little scatter pieces. Again, this is feet turn, so it's +3 armor. Talking about that, I have my one Eliminator that was left that charged into Scythe's rear. I managed to hit, but because of the armor, I basically do nothing, so I'm contesting. That's something. And on the left, I pop my mini feet with my Kayazy and really want to take out the Stalker just to make sure it doesn't do anything else to me, and I take it out, but I really dedicated way too much. So now I'm in a spot where you can be killing a lot of my Kayazy, and I want to slowly feed it, and this is just like a buffet that I laid out there. So overall, I now go up a point, and I pop my feet, I'm pulled back and safe, so I gotta see what he does on his turn. So on his turn 3, he does a lot of work. Again, Damiano going in there, shooting an AoE, this time killing a bunch of Idrians and finishing off Eiryss. Scythe also doing lots of work, killing lots of them. And then you're probably wondering, well then how did Scythe get a shot? I thought Scythe was engaged with the Kayazy. Well, his Sylys charges in there, hits my Kayazy in the back and kills it. So best Sylys ever. Meanwhile on the right, sorry that things are getting dark. It's now getting actually dark, so the lighting in my garage isn't so great with no natural light coming in anymore, but he does some threshers, kills off a couple of models, doesn't do a whole bunch, whatever, you know, he's just fighting some Nyss. This is what I want, slow things down. And on the left, oh man, Gaspy and the murder bots come in and just start murdering, and so he's going to be getting like, what is it, like 5 or 6 souls next turn, and yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted, but hey, you know, at least I'm in a spot now where I can try and just slow him down and just try and keep on scoring, basically. So what I do is for the big epic battle is I send in my fully loaded Swashbuckler into his non-camp Gaspy. Now it is having the Surefoot, so that's pretty good. But I was really hoping just to do something significant here. Being like, yeah, Swashbuckler doing work. No, I missed my charge attack, and then my bot attack, I hit and do 1 damage. So okay, I suppose that's something. And if nothing else, this Swashbuckler should take up a lot of resources, because if he misses 1 attack, I'll dodge away. So he'll probably have to boost a lot of hits. And if he's doing a lot of hits against it, it's not against the Kayazy, which I want to be staying here to be contesting things. Otherwise, sticking to the left side, I kill off James or whatever, and so that's important. Now there's basically a bunch of Kayazy and my dodgy Jack, and then he has no solo. So this is going to be Gaspy living over there for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, on the right, I was able to charge in there with the Toro, and not only destroy off and finish off his Rocinante, but also have enough attacks after that I was able to finish off the other Toro as well. So the only heavy he has left is now going to be his Mangler, which is autonomous. I do some more attacks in there, don't really do much damage. Alexia 3 is going to go on the flag. The Mangler just ran into his zone, so I don't expect him to go and actually kill Damiano. He's engaged and being annoying, and then I'm also going to be making attacks against the objective next turn if possible. So I score 2 points here, looking pretty good on scenario. So on his turn, damn that Sylys does it again, charges in here, and then hits my Nyss Hunter that I had engaging his Scythe and kills me again. So man, Sylys, if you guys are keeping him in the back, not doing anything except for doing upkeeps and stuff, no, start charging that Sylys in. He's a killer. Otherwise, you know, in the finishing of the battle, yeah, turns out Gaspy 4 greater than Swashbuckler. He takes me down, but hey, it took up a lot of his resources, so that's something. And then overall, that's really all that's going to be happening here. I mean, he does some work on the left, kills some things there. His Mangler on the right does a Thresher, doesn't really do too much. Scythe shoots into my Toro, or sorry, actually into the Mangler, because my Toro has such high armor because of the Death Ward. So shoots into the Mangler, does a little bit of damage. Damiano charges in, does a little bit of damage, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't score anything. I score the flag and my zone again, and I win on scenario. So that's going to be the end of the game. Like I said, took this one on scenario, but it was a good, fun game. You know, like I could have played some sort of like all-in Magnus 2, I'm going to lock you down, go for scenario, or big, huge, aggressive assassination type thing. But this type of a list where it was designed to go in and just slowly grind and slowly go for the win type thing was really enjoyable. So both Ryan and I were talking after like, you know what, that was good. I hope we can do more games like this going in the future. So I probably will be doing this, you know, like when it's tournament time, okay, the mean old Magnuses will come out for the Magnus 2s, but you know, for some of these like fun garage games, why not pull out some old infantry you haven't used for a long time and just have a nice long grindy game. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this game. If you have any thoughts on the lists or the game or really anything, please feel free to post it down below. And finally, as always, a big thank you to my Patreons. They're the ones that are helping me put more effort and, you know, money into these types of things. So if you're interested, the link's down below. But if not, hey, you know, they're getting their own benefits from it as well. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.